D.B Cooper is a criminal and villain. He stole $200,000 from the government by hijacking a plane and keeping people hostage. He claimed he had a bomb on the plane and was going to blow it up if he didn't get his money. He would have been able to go toe to toe with Prime King Von due to how scary he was. According to one FBI agent, he was a violent criminal. According to this author, Euteria, a criminologist from Clue Chronicles, in 1971, a man dressed in a dark suit pays $20 in cash for Flight 305 under the name Dan Cooper at approximately 2:30 at Portland International Airport. With this information, we know what he was wearing and what time he arrived. We also know his name now, Dan Cooper. Now, most people know him by D.B Cooper, but this is because a reporter misheard a flight attendant when asking questions. Now, people now know him as D.B Cooper, and it has more aura than Dan Cooper. According to Ella Morton, an author from History.com, some guy boards a flight from Portland to Seattle and threatens to detonate an explosive. Sounds pretty familiar. If he didn't receive a certain amount of money and 4 parachutes. Not 3, not 2, 4. Once he was given the money, he let the rest of the passengers go and demanded to be taken to Mexico. When he was asking for the money, he was very calm about it. He was later described as smooth-spoken by flight attendants and a little rizzy.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
He requested $200,000 and $20 bills. And the reason for the 4 parachutes was to ensure the authorities wouldn't slam him out before he even got a chance to play with his money. According to Utara, at around 8:13 p.m., D.B Cooper jumps out of the plane through the back stairs like he's about to drop Tilted Towers, and is never seen again. It was a stormy night with temperatures reaching -7 and wind speeds of 200 miles per hour. This was the last known thing D.B Cooper did that night. Some people believed he survived and others believed he died. According to Earl Cozy, the man who packed 2 of the parachutes and a skydiving specialist, may his soul rest in peace, was asked on a National Geographic documentary if D.B Cooper would have survived that night. He didn't think so, as the choice of parachute D.B Cooper had was uncomfortable, had a very small ripcord, and would have made it way harder to rip during that night. As he said on the documentary, that November night was stacked against him. One day, an 8-year-old boy was playing in the sand of the Columbia River in Washington. As he was digging, he stumbled across a bundle of $20 bills that came to a total of $5,800. The police were contacted by the parents of the boy and would match up the serial codes of the money D.B Cooper stole. This was one of the only physical evidence left behind by D.B Cooper. This is all coming from Ella Morton. This adds more evidence to the theory that he had perished that night, because there is no reason why you dump life-changing money into the river just for the thrill of having it. They also brought another person up on this documentary to help uncover the truth. Tom Kay is a materialist scientist and a research physicist. They came up with the theory that D.B Cooper landed in the water no matter the altitude because he chose the NB parachute. This parachute is special because it doesn't have any way to direct itself in the wind. This is like the worst parachute he could have chose. The water was also very likely cold and would have caused hypothermia, and the parachute would have wrapped around him, causing him to drown. Tom Kay's explanation for the money in the water is that when D.B Cooper eventually dies after landing in the Columbia River, him and the bag would have been dragged, with the bag eventually tearing open with money spilling out. So is this the end? Did D.B Cooper really die that night? Well, some people would say otherwise. On April 7th, 1972, another man would board a flight with a fake name, this time Newark, Los Angeles flight. Similar to the last hijacking, he would give a flight attendant a note demanding $500,000 and 4 parachutes. The man said the plane would explode if the demands weren't met. He was also a seasoned skydiver as well as a helicopter pilot, according to Morton. Sound familiar? Well, many people thought the same, as this was 5 months after the D.B Cooper hijacking. This made many conclude that the same guy for this crime was the same as the Cooper case. The man responsible for the second hijacking was Richard McCoy Jr. and was later convicted of air piracy and was given prison sentence of 45 years. He would later escape and would die in a shootout with the FBI 3 months later. This is all according to Morton. He was the main suspect of the case, but wouldn't be charged with the Cooper case. The only reason why he was caught was because he gloated about how he would get away with it in a bar with his friend. McCoy's background in helicopter piloting is more important because, according to Ella Morton, D.B Cooper had a clip-on tie with him, and on that tie, there was approximately 100,000 particles. Some of these particles were bismuth and unalloyed titanium. This led to the idea that Cooper was some sort of worker in a manufacturing facility that might have had correlations with Boeing. With McCoy being a helicopter pilot, it isn't hard to believe that he was D.B Cooper for having these particles on his tie. This amateur investigator and Grider in 2023 showed the FBI a parachute that was very similar to the one D.B Cooper used. The parachute was found in McCoy's North Carolina property. This is very convincing evidence that McCoy was somehow connected to the Cooper case in some way, but it seems we'll never know. So, in conclusion, does it really matter? Since either way, D.B Cooper is dead. Whether he lived or died, the world kept going.